I bumped into a youth who was masked up, literally masked up in the street. I said, do you know who you're talking to? I reversed whatever negativity was being thrown at me. It's very important what you watch, what you have around you when you're a youth can program you.
People was looking at you like you was crazy.
I was crazy, but come on, I didn't care. I can go anywhere in the world and get a pull-up with that gift and curse, because anyone can do anything when they put their mind to it and they got that heart to go through the pain.
When you start something new, your skill set is not as high.
Let me answer that.
Go on.
I've got a perfect answer for that. There's a path made for you once you hit a certain purpose. It's not about how, it's just knowing that it's gonna happen. And what we want to do is down to us. We are more powerful than we realize. If you say you can't,
you can't.
If you say you can,
you can. Trust me, that's it.
I feel like I'm the living proof of that.
Welcome back to A-Brand Specialist Show. Today, I'm with a gentleman that spreads himself across a lot of different niches, a lot of different genres, a lot of different skill sets. Sometimes in life, we don't feel like putting ourselves in a box or getting put inside the box. And this is definitely somebody who ticks a lot of different boxes and has done for a long, long time. If you're from Nottingham City, you definitely will have heard of this individual. He's got a very unique energy. A lot of people may be inspired by, and it might even rub some people up the wrong way from time to time. Who knows? The person I'm talking about is Kriptik, Omari Grant, the praying Mantis, and we're very, very grateful to have you in the studio on A-Brand Specialist Show today. My brother, thank you, bro. Is that our all right introduction?
That's a brilliant introduction, man. Very, very thought through, man. Appreciate it.
How would you describe yourself? There'll be people that perhaps are discovering us both for the first time.
I wouldn't say jack of all trades. I probably would say like a master swordsman, like a Ronin. I've got all these skills, all these skill sets that I use for different things. I've always had that energy as a youth. I used to dance, then I got into music, I got into boxing at a later stage. I've always been creative and I've always been able to transfer that energy. So anything I do, I like to put it to a high standard. No matter if it's grabbing the mic, being in the ring, whether it's writing a book. I've done a lot of different things, and I feel like the human capability shouldn't be limited. And I think I'm one of the examples of being that person that goes and puts it all in everything they do.
Yeah, I hear that. And something that you said right at the start, yeah, and I'm not sure if I saw you put a status out like this once upon a time. I maybe even learned the full phrase from you, the jack of all trades phrase.
Yes.
Is it true that the jack of all trades is a master of none? That's not the complete.
That's not the complete.
So yeah, I did learn that from you.
Yeah, you remember.
So what? But how does it go? And what's the real meaning?
I don't know if I can say it word for word, but
yeah.
Basically it's a jack of all trades is a master of none, but it's better than a master of one. You can have that one focus, but if you're at that high level in many different things, it's more of an advantage than just having one thing. I believe that. It's like having the title of father. You have to do many things. It's not just one thing. It's not just looking after children. You have to be the breadwinner. You have to provide. You have to protect. It's having all that skill set behind that one phrase, isn't it? And I think a lot of people cut that phrase to fit into a negative narrative.
That's definitely the case. I'm one of those people as well. I don't just like to do one thing. So when I saw the way that you'd written out that full sentence, and I Googled it as well, it definitely gave you that vibe that it's better to do a lot of things and be quite good at a lot of these things than be just okay at one thing or not good at anything. Do you know what I mean? You're ticking a lot of boxes, like I said in the introduction. Do you know what I'm saying?
It's almost like being like with the boxing, like being an all-rounder.
Okay.
Mayweather, you wouldn't say he's the most powerful or the most fast, but his all-around skills made him one of the greatest boxers ever. Yeah.
And check him, his transferable skills. He's a good marketer. He's a showman. He's a businessman. You've already touched on like a bit of your past year. How do you feel your skills have been transferable from? I didn't even know you was dancing and shit. You was dancing, man.
Yeah, I used to win dancing competitions when I was.
So now you're dancing in the ring?
Yeah, now I'm dancing in the ring.
Dancing in the ring. So what's the transferable skill? Is it just like the energy? Like, what would you say? What are your biggest assets?
I think my biggest asset would probably be my heart and my creativity. When I was younger, the first things that I aspired to be was an inventor. And then when I got older, I wanted to be a director. Those skills transferred because I started to create, invent my own music, and then direct my own videos.
Oh, sure.
So it was the same thing I wanted to do from that essence, but I still just pushed it into something else. And then obviously with the boxing, with the teaching, with the music, and it just develops. As an artist, I feel like I'm accustomed to performing. When I was going in the ring, it was nothing to me to be fighting in front of people because I've been doing that my whole life before.
No, like the pressures.
Yeah, there's still pressure, but it's not
okay.
the same as it would be for someone that's never done it before. I've had to go and perform all around the country, outside of the country, going to places. You know, back in the day with the grime scene, it was very volatile. Everyone was fighting for the mic. You had to be about something to.
So that's your background on the music side of things.
Yeah, and that's what transferred me with the boxing. That's why I think a lot of people.
And there's an element of fighting as well in grime, like that rough around the edge. Obviously, the clue's in the name, grime, innit?
Yeah, you had to be about something to even grab the mic. You couldn't, if you're not confident.
Can't be a sap.
Basically, if you haven't got that confidence, there's something you can. This is very telling. But I think even with the music, it came to a point where everyone was jumping on it, and everyone started to build their confidence because it is kind of easy to just say certain things.
You can be like a clone as well. Do you know what I'm saying? And you can hide under someone else's personality and get a blight.
Exactly. But that's why when I did the boxing, it kind of certified all the things I was saying and on the way I was acting all these years. Because that no fear element, that heart element was showcased in the boxing. I was able to show everyone that anyone from my background or anyone that wants to go for their goals, you can do it. Don't let anybody put you off. I started at a very late age, 25. I was the first time I walked into a boxing gym and even got into a ring. I'm 33 now, 34 next week.
Yeah, man, more life.
People have seen my story, watched me grow, seen how I come from the music, see how I've gone into the boxing, see how I teach, see how I wrote the book. I still continue to do music today. It's something that I wouldn't put down. It's just me. I can't be anything else but myself. I feel like I'm making it okay to be yourself.
Yeah, well, let's hope so, fam, because it's not always easy to do different things, and part of being yourself expression is exploring different things as well. I think it's okay to change, innit? I think it's okay to try different things as well. I'm rooting for your type of mentality. Have you ever felt like, you know, when you make the transition to something new, there's not the same amount of energy as you maybe was receiving before? When you start something new, your skill set is not as high, innit? So you gotta go through that initial period and still believe in yourself as well. Let
me answer that.
Go on.
I've got a perfect answer for that. Perfect. I could just stand here or sit here and say, oh, I'm just different. I look at things different. But as a youth, my dad was basically a karate champion. He was into karate. He used to make me run and do all sorts of things. And I hated karate. After the karate, we would watch the movies, and martial arts movies is what really influenced me. Hence the praying mantis, hence the nickname and stuff.
Yeah, got into that.
If you look at these stories, the core of all these stories, which helped me growing up, I wasn't looking at gangster rap or anything like that. Even though the environment I was in, I wasn't looking at certain things. I was looking at these martial arts movies. And it's always the main person doesn't know anything. The main person gets beat up. The main person is probably the worst character in that movie at that point, but their transition is when they find a master, the master may not even be nice to them. You look at this guy, why is this guy so horrible to him? Puts him through the training, you see him attempt to do the training, he still can't do it, but then after a while, consistency, you see him starting to mold and improve. That showed me anyone can do anything when they put their mind to it, and they got that heart to go through the pain to get there. So from a young youth, I realized that anything I put my mind to, I could do it. I just have to keep being consistent.
Would you say you're quite stubborn, fam?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and that's helped.
That's probably from my mum's side. I've got her qualities. My dad's really more calm. My mum's more stubborn. Both very strong people, but they're similar in the sense of their focus and wanting me to do something with my life. So basically it was those things. That's why I think it's very important what you watch, what you have around you when you're a youth can program you to how your life turns out. So even though I was in a bad environment, even though I was around people called undesirables, I always had that core thing of when I used to train with my dad and watch these martial arts films, and I got that message. And I may have not got anywhere. But because I chose to write a book, I chose to box, I chose to do different things, now the music is opening doors. It's opening doors for that music because I varied my skills. I didn't just focus on that. So it's about knowing what your niche is, going through the motions, and knowing what's working for you. I was doing music for ages. As soon as I did boxing, which is not an easy thing, as you know, 3-4 years, everyone was more interested in the music. because they realize, oh, you actually did that before.
So what does that feel like though?
It just feels like
Do you not get vexed, fam?
No, because if I didn't,
Moments
if I
of
would-
feeling
if I
pissed
would've-
off,
if I
like.
would have blown up, I have to be very aware. If I
You mean
would've
blown up like emotionally?
No, I mean blown up as
Blown up,
in.
okay.
If I was
Got at the
a
height.
grime MC and I blew up with Wiley
Yeah.
in 2005,
Yeah.
I may never have boxed.
Yes.
I may never have taught these people.
So God's
I
got
may
a
never-
plan, innit?
Yeah, so it's like it's a bigger plan. I have to look at everything as a lesson.
Trust me, yeah.
And, I may get frustrated because I'm human.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
still consistent. I'm still going there, still doing something no matter what. And then I'm seeing what avenues are working, what doors are opening, what doors are not.
Yeah.
And I have to be humble enough to accept what my path is.
Is
I
that-
never wanted to. I was not interested in teaching. I was trying to get to the top at boxing. But when I stepped back and I started to teach,
Yeah.
I started to improve.
Because there was a frustration with not having enough matches available.
Yeah.
And then that has led to you starting the MBF. So let's talk about MBF, man.
Mantis boxing family.
Yeah. But I rate what you're saying, that it's a very good mentality to have. And people sometimes say that I've got that mentality, but it's kind of a positive thing. Yeah. People tell me, you're so positive. I say, if one more person tells me about how positive I am, I'm gonna switch. Honestly, yeah.
They're gonna see something negative.
Yeah. Quickly, just want to mention something that I know is going to be of extreme value to you. You know, when you go into the gym, not motivated, you're not seeing the results that you want to see. Even you can't take yourself to the gym. Gyms are boring, intimidating. It's just not really for you. The workouts that you see going on, I can relate. I've been there. Trust me. Gravity Fitness is the solution. And I'm saying that hand on heart, I would recommend it to anybody. There's a whole plethora of products you can choose from on the Gravity Fitness website. They are made to survive an apocalypse. So imagine what they're gonna do to your body and your physique. Gravity Fitness is for all levels of individuals and athletes. It's for people that are trying to get into calisthenics. They've even got these gymnastic rings, so they're for gymnasts as well. You can do body weight exercises and then you can add a little weight to it with the weighted vest, which is adjustable as well. Long story short, bad boy product. That's why I'm bringing it to you. I'm a believer in it, and I'm so grateful that they've partnered with this podcast to bring you 10% off all purchases. Now that is a game changer. I wish I had 10% off when I bought my first vest. I wish we had 10% off. So make sure you go check them out. Use the code ABS10 at checkout for 10% off. I feel like you trusted the process and you were stubborn enough to say, the boxing, they're not bringing me these fights, so I'm going to carry on regardless now.
Yeah, regardless.
And I kind of remember like when MBF started as well, and I feel like it's kind of the same. I said to someone yesterday, I'm interviewing Kriptik, they were like, is he doing some reggae thing? I said, man's been doing reggae for time. Do you know what I mean? So it's like when people choose to pick up on things, and when you started MBF, like you're saying, were people more interested in the music? So being stubborn and trusting the process has allowed you to unlock this new universe. But you have to go through them stages of, like you're saying, learning or not being as good, because you were a teacher for the first time. So what I want to know is, what's it like beginning? Where did the support come from? Where's the first bit of support? And where did the idea come from as well? Because it's a very unique name, innit? So from a branding point of view, I'd like to know how you come up with a name. You got a logo and that.
So
Where did it all
basically,
come from?
I wasn't professional anymore. I've had 8 fights. I wasn't getting any promotion, not proper management. I wasn't getting opportunities to go for belts. That's what I wanted to do. I knew that I was capable of doing it, but for some reason, the people wouldn't invest me, and that's just another story. I was just in the gym, training, didn't know what I was doing, where I was going. I bumped into a youth who was masked up, literally masked up in the street, asking me, do I want this and do I want that? I said, do you know who you're talking to? And it wasn't like a ego thing, it was more like, you're coming to me, you see me going to the gym, you must know who I am, I'm from the ends. Oh no, I'm not from the ends, I just come from London, and I'm just trying to do my thing. I said, listen, I box. I will teach you for free. Get off whatever you're on. Give me your number. So you gave me the
Why
number.
did you do that?
Because I thought, I'm out here pushing myself.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? This little youth out here doing, you didn't have to do this. If I was his age, I'll be pushing myself from that age, and I'll probably get further.
Yeah, maybe with the benefit of hindsight.
Exactly. I'm that hindsight for him.
Yeah.
So I gave him the number, didn't hear from him. Didn't hear from him. About 3 weeks passed, he walks through the door. He does. I was like, yes, man, you made that step. And because I was working with him, the gym started going on weird with me, saying, oh, you're getting money. No, I just told him to pay his entry fee.
What gym was it, man?
I'm not even going to highlight it. I'm not even going to highlight it. But I realized that, cool, with certain people, it's all about money. They don't see the bigger picture. And they can't see my heart. They don't know who I am. So I could be doing anything.
It's fair. It's fair. Do you think it's fair? It's fair.
No, I just think that they're money
short-sighted, isn't it?
Yeah, they could have just sat and talked to me, and we could have had a discussion, but we didn't have that. So I thought, forget this. I got a fight coming up. Let's see what happens with this. Because I couldn't get any boxing fights, I got into this thing called hybrid boxing, where you're in a cage and you have four ounce gloves. Yeah. So I knocked the guy out in 13 seconds. So with that bit of clout, everyone's like, oh, what's he doing next? I went and hired out a hall, started doing my lessons. He was my the guy that was Ace, he was my first student, and then he just built up from there. Obviously people knew me from music. I got people from the local areas to come and take part, give out vouchers for whatever companies they had. We had like an open day. And from then I just started to do the classes every week. And eventually got people that was interested in actually fighting, and I just started training people, and I got people into an unlicensed fight in Birmingham, and yeah, they did very well. My students did very well, and for the first time I've stepped back and I'm helping other people. It was a good feeling to be able to pass on the skills, and by me passing on the skills, I improved as well. So then I started going for these belts. I went for another hybrid boxing fight, then I won a belt, and just took off from there. So now I'm at the point where I'm fighting in Nottingham for my first ever proper title fight in Nottingham for a 4th title. I took a break out, I took a step back and helped others, and it benefited me, even though I didn't, that's not the intention. The intention wasn't for it to benefit me, but it was rewarding, and the universe opened up.
It benefited you in a couple of ways though, because one, I'm trying to figure out, did you not say that you went into teaching because there was no title fights available?
No, I didn't actually go into teaching because of that. I went into teaching because the guy came up to me, masked up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's a mad story because in 2015 is when I first started fighting. Did the charity kind of fights and stuff. But before I went professional, I was so serious about the boxing. I went to Hackney, I went to the Ricky Hatton Academy, where they taught you how to teach. So even though I didn't have the experience as a professional then, I had a little bit of experience fighting on the charity shows. And then I went and studied in Hackney, came back with my qualification. Then I went professional, so I had put that on the back burner. So now that I stopped and I couldn't get the opportunities I wanted, money and support, I was in limbo trying to get an unlicensed fight. Then when obviously the youth approached me, something clicked in my head that I can teach you. I've done this, I've got the qualifications, I've done this before, even before I was going pro. So that just manifested, that's the way it manifested. So I already had that in place already before I was even professional. And when I took that space to just reflect, it all came out, and it came out at the right time. They didn't believe in me. I was never, no one thought I would get anywhere. I started doing a unlicensed, and then when I was getting better, I got a title shot. That's when I got my first belt, unlicensed belt. Then I went pro, thinking that I'll have an opportunity to do bigger and better things. But I didn't get the opportunity. All that happened was I had fights. I had about 5 fights in 1 year. It's like they wanted to just feed me to the wolves, feed me to people that was way experienced in me. They didn't want to build me up. They didn't want to invest in me. Maybe my face didn't fit, maybe because of my background, maybe, I don't know. I haven't got groups and groups of people buying certain amounts of tickets to keep me in the game.
Right.
So I never got a shot. I think there's a thing called challenge belt, and they stopped doing it. It's like an early belt that you can get when you're doing pro. They stopped doing it when I started going pro. So in my heart, I wanted to get the belts. I wanted to prove that I was good enough to get those belts and be at that level. But I never got the opportunity, so I just had to, that was it. The contract ended. I didn't sign the contract again. I thought, I'm not going through another 3 years of this. And then when I stopped and I started teaching, I got the unlicensed opportunities. And then I got the opportunity to fight in the cage, something that most boxers probably wouldn't do.
Yeah.
So I carved out a path for myself that is very unique. That's probably impossible You know what I mean? It's probably impossible to follow because it's not something that I planned. It just happened. You know what I mean? And that's what brought me to this 4th title fight, because another unlicensed company has approached me. Like the pros should have approached me. Like these other people should have approached me. But yeah, I've kind of proven that I know what I'm doing. I know what kind of level I'm at. And this is even better than me being pro, because I feel like I would have just been fed to the wolves and not been taken seriously.
Yeah, like the route that you've taken is kind of unconventional, a little bit like your fighting style, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. So it's kind of like, you know, reflected in the universe. Like everything just mirrors up. Like the route is as unconventional as the praying mantis style. So that's kind of part of the brand, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
What's the praying mantis all about? Like, where did the name come from? Because it's important.
This is a very interesting story.
Yeah. I'm asking the right question.
It wasn't like a serious name. It's like somebody said it to me in jest. So it's like they're trying to take the mick.
Yeah, trying to take me.
Basically.
Okay.
Or maybe they're just being observing me and thinking, oh, that's funny, that looks funny, that's unconventional. And oh, it looks like a praying mantis. But they didn't know that was the best thing they could have said to me, because I love my martial arts. I love the whole idea of meditation and visualization and the whole spirit behind fighting. And that was like, yeah, that's perfect. I fight like that. That's the kind of background I'm into. That's the kind of thing that inspired me to even train in the first place. Yeah, that's me. I reversed whatever negativity was being thrown at me and turned it into a positive.
I rate that still. That's heavy. That's heavy, man. How do you perceive the spirituality behind martial arts? Because I enjoy that concept as well. Maybe not so much yet in the combat side of things, but the mentality and the spirituality of getting yourself connecting the mind and the body to produce certain results. I feel like it does definitely feed the soul somehow. And I've been talking about it. I feel like it's a form of meditation. A friend of mine said it's more like motor skills, connecting with the voice in your head. Yeah, but that's what I've personally discovered. Like, what do you see in the spirituality or?
I think that
behind fighting martial arts,
everything comes from the unseen. Everything comes from the spiritual. Everything that you do, you have to have that mindset and that spiritual connection to make anything work. If I close my eyes and I think of an invention, I've thought about that process and I've used that energy to create that. I couldn't have just physically done something. It'd have to become from that metaphysical state. So any approach, martial arts, just generally living, going to your work, your career, whatever, it's got that spiritual foundation. And when you're in tune with it, whether you meditate, whether you pray, whatever you do to access that, that's how you get your result. So because I had that mindset about the martial arts in the first place, when I approached the boxing, I always had that mindset. I remember sitting in the gym one time, one of the coaches are like, oh, you don't do nothing. All you're doing is sitting down. That's what you think I'm doing.
Yeah, what was you doing?
I was meditating.
Yeah.
I was affirming. I was visualizing. I knew that what I wanted to do. I wanted to be professional. I wanted to have belts. I wanted to prove that you could be something from the background.
You was affirming. You was mentally visualizing.
I was in that state.
Mad.
And just because I didn't jump up 500 times or did this or did what they wanted me to do, they couldn't understand that. They couldn't understand me. But I didn't need them to understand me. I just needed to get the results done. And I think that's why it shocks a lot of people. A lot of people just don't get it, or they just want to put me in their box. Like you said earlier about the reggae and stuff. People will always see you, not for who you are, for who they are. If they value me as a singer, they're going to remember me when I sing. If they value me as a boxer, they're going to remember me as a boxer. If they value a book, they remember me as an author. If they value a grime artist, grime hype, they're going to look at me as a grime artist. I'm all those things and more. But they're only going to see me for what they are. So that's why I believe it's better to be more than one thing, because you are everything. We're all reflections of everybody. It's just what you value is what's going to be highlighted to you. So yeah, I'm all these things, but they're only gonna. Some people just think of me, oh, he's that ratty you. You know what I mean? Like he's this, he's that, but that's just your limitation of how you see things. My daughter might look at me, I'm the best daddy in the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everyone's seeing it from their point of view. But yeah, that's why I think the spiritual side is very important. It has to be that mindset, has to have that drive, the emotion, the heart behind it. Because even when I couldn't box, I was not losing. So now that I do know, I'm definitely not losing. Because it's the purpose, it's not just a passion.
So what's the purpose on trying to figure that out, like purpose and passion, like you found that now?
Passion was the energy that I had behind everything. I was confident. I had the heart. I wanted to improve. I wanted to do this and do that. Be creative. Go over here. I didn't care where I went. I traveled loads of places on my own. I went to a place called Kidderminster once.
Yeah, Kidderminster.
I think it's outside of Birmingham.
Birmingham.
And I'll tell you straight. I went to Kidderminster. I had CDs on my one, selling CDs. I went down there. They're like, this Kriptik. You're not Kriptik. I said, yeah, it's me. Who you with? I said, by myself. I got treated well. They was cool to me. They were just shocked. When I left there, and I came back to Nuts, and I'm talking to my friends from like Birmingham and places around, they're like, do you know how racist that place is? You went into the middle of one of the most racist places. And when I go there, I think, I didn't see one black person there.
Yeah.
I seen like hood man,
Yeah.
but they wouldn't, you get me? They were all white. And it was like, I didn't give a damn. I went down there to sell my CDs and show my talent. And whoever wanted to support, I went down there and I sold the CDs to them.
That's the passion.
But that's my passion. Now my purpose, passion is everywhere. Passion is everything. You're doing everything, but there's no focus.
Right.
So the focus now is where you get the purpose. My purpose is to give back and to continue doing what I'm doing as much as I can and improve people's lives, give back a service. When I'm doing music, I'm giving a service. People that are listening to lyrics, they may sing along, they may dance, they're enjoying that, either the message or the music. It's like I'm providing a service. Same thing with the boxing, it's entertaining. Same thing with the teaching, I'm showing them skills. It's all it's positive energy. I could easily be one of them artists that glorify nonsense or box and then just be dead arrogant and try and curse my opponents and stuff, or you know what I mean, don't give a damn about teaching other people and just think about myself. I could easily be like that, but that's tapping into a different type of energy. The energy I want to push is positive, and that's what's giving me my focus. Because if it weren't for the people in my life, the few people in my life that gave me inspiration, I wouldn't be who I am. Like I said, with my dad, my uncle, my mum, people that showed me that it's more to life than the physical things and the things that are pushed through the media. Life is much more different, and it's always a choice, and there's always chances. It always depends on you. You have to make those solid choices and take those chances if you want to change your life. You can't just blame everything. You can be in a certain environment, but you can't. It's down to you at the end of the day. And I always had that. That energy behind me. So that's why I've been able to do all these things. No matter what. Don't care if people laugh at me. Don't care if people don't believe in me. If anything, that might spur me on even more. Most people told me I would never be pro. I would never do this. I'll never do that. I didn't care. They're reflecting. They're projecting their limitations of what they think they can't do.
You know what's mad, yeah, is that, because that's what I was trying to touch on earlier, like when people don't believe in you or you ain't got the crowd behind you cheering and you got to push forward anyway. Maybe the stubbornness, or maybe it's like I found my purpose now, like you're choosing to come with a positive energy and give back. But I just remembered, like someone must have recognised you because you got put in Nottingham Castle.
So, like,
brother.
So, like
that's mad.
Like I said, so all these years of me spitting bars.
That's crazy,
music,
bro. My mum would be over the moon if I got put in Nottingham Castle. My mum would be over the moon.
This is what I'm trying to say. Like, I got blessed with something I couldn't even have thought of. I couldn't even affirm that or manifested that. I didn't even think about that. And I got blessed with that from all the stuff that I've done. So maybe I want to be like Tion Wayne or somebody else and blow up and stuff like that. But I was meant for bigger things. I was meant to be on the castle, which will be there when I'm long gone. Give me my great grandchildren will see me on the castle next to these other photos. And I could never even thought about that. So I always believe that there's a path. You know what I mean? There's a path made for you once you hit a certain purpose. You may not know. It's not about how. It's just knowing that it's gonna happen. I think a lot of people get confused about, I'm gonna do this, and they try and control their way through life, and you can't control it. You can't control it. All you can control is the energy you put out.
I've heard you can control your attitude.
Yeah, your response to things.
The response to things, yeah.
Someone could come in here in the studio and slap me in my face. How I respond determines the outcome.
You're going to get two jabs in that praying mantis, fam.
You know what? I'm not going to lie. I could tell you a little funny story. This is like an exclusive. No one's heard this before.
Yeah, man.
When I was...
You heard it here first, yeah? Come on.
When I was a youth...
Like, comment, share, subscribe.
When I was a youth, I wasn't really confrontational.
Mm.
And I remember one you must have like followed me. This is primary school, to the coat room, and they must have not liked me. Maybe because I was just full of energy, like I am now. But obviously, as a child, you even more energy.
Yeah.
Punched me in my face.
Crazy.
I looked at him, and I just stared at him. He ran off. You know, years later, when I'm a big man, it's like, I remember when we was youths, I punched you in your face, and you looked at me like nothing even happened. He said, you know what, from then I just knew you was a serious person, and I just left you alone. and it's just, it's how you react to things.
Yeah.
And no one taught me that, or it's just something I went through. I thought, that's a big example, another big example that when you react to things, it creates the result. And a lot of people want you to react a certain way. A lot of people give you stereotypes. A lot of people want to play up to stereotypes because either they want to fit in or they think that's the way I should act because I look a certain way or I'm from a certain place.
I'm just thinking.
We're all spiritual beings in the physical costume, and what we want to do is down to us. We are more powerful than we realize. If you say you can't, you can't. If you say you can, you can.
Trust me, that's it.
I feel like I'm the living proof of that. And I may not have all the billions and all this and that, but the things I've been able to do and achieve are because of that mindset.
Wealthy.
Yeah,
real wealth and real riches. And I feel that's like a precursor to the financial things anyway.
Definitely.
I really do. Because like you're saying, you're giving back and you're providing that energy to the world, fam. And one thing that I like to look at through A Brand Specialist is leveraging things like this, things like podcasts, things like the internet, things that you've been doing from day. That means that your name, you talk about not having the billions, yet it's ringing bells internationally. In this country, up and down the country as well. You've been using microphones, you've been using this technology. So like you're saying, you continue to put that energy out there with the mindset that you've got. That's richness being spread throughout the world and amplified. Yeah, man, I'm a believer. That's a precursor to the cherry on the top of the cake, which is the financial things. I want to get into the book that you wrote as well. Yeah, you said one thing earlier that, and I agree with you, that what you consume is very important. Like you grew up in Radford, you were surrounded.
I was in Radford.
Yeah,
so I was both. My environment was
the environment.
In the city, you know what I mean?
Like, in the city environment, but you were watching things that were like more positive or whatever, that has given you a positive outlook on life. So it's like, did you make a conscious decision? You're a father as well. You got a daughter, right? Did you make a conscious decision to write a book with that in mind, like wanting to put something decent out?
I'll be very truthful. It wasn't. I didn't do it in that spirit. The spirit that I did it in was I was going through a difficult time with the arrangement of my daughter. Things are a good space now.
I'm glad.
But at the time, goes back to reaction.
Right.
I could have gone crazy. I could have gone mad. I could have been trying to thump people down and stuff like that, or cursing and stuff. But instead, I wrote a book. I dedicated it to my daughter. Found a way to self-publish. It was actually, I think, COVID had just like came about, and I literally just got back into England because I was in France. I was in Belgium. I was performing, so I was making some music with the music.
Come on, man.
But then COVID hit, so I couldn't do anything, couldn't travel or nothing. So, and obviously this situation with my daughter. So I thought, you know what, put all that energy that I've got and do something that I've always wanted to do. And that's how it came about. So that's honestly how it came about. It wasn't like I had no intention to give out positive energy or nothing like that. It was literally a way to deal with that situation using.
It's like what, like kind of like a therapy type of thing.
Yeah.
Or did you want? Obviously, you was gonna give it to your daughter, let her read it, or was that a thing, or was it for the world to read?
It was kind of like the world, and for my daughter maybe when she gets older, because it's not directly talking about the situation.
Who told you that you could be an author?
Well, I'm glad that we're in Leicester today.
Right.
I wanna
Yeah.
big up my brethren. He came from Leicester and he did a talk. I think it's going into like his history and stuff like that. I was doing like a lecture, and then he started to talk about how he made his book, how he wants to encourage other people to do books. From when he did it, I thought, yes, he's inspired me to do it. And I asked him certain things. How did you get your IBAN number and stuff like that, and put him in the right direction.
How do you get your IBAN number, bro?
You just got to research. Just Google, man.
Google. Yeah.
I did it through Amazon. I self-published.
Yeah.
And what they do is, once you sort out the format and stuff, they do it by print. So they'll buy it and then they'll print it. They made it easier for me. I just got my copyright. IBAN number is the code at the back of the book. You know the barcode thing.
Oh, it's the barcode.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have to buy that so you can sell.
Okay.
And once you get that, then obviously it opens the doors.
This is sick. That's proper knowledge.
Yeah, well, that's what I got from my brethren, and yeah, it all came together at the right time. And I would love to do another one. I probably would. There's a lot of things I want to do.
Now you got Drake publishing books now. It's following the Kriptik, Omari Grant, Praying Mantis.
There's nothing new under the sun, though, innit? And I have to follow someone else as well. So
yeah, man. But I'm hoping that even this content that gets put out there, that's part of what I'm on. Empowerment, self-empowerment, but also inspiration. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, self-empowerment, education is one of the most powerful things. My mom always told me that education is something that they can never take away from you, son.
Well, education is not always in the school. You could be educated, through life and through experiences. There's a lot of things I've learned out of the so-called education system, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
So
most definitely.
Knowledge, isn't it? Basically, knowledge, applied knowledge is wisdom. So you can have the knowledge, but you have to apply it, and then it becomes wisdom. So there's a lot of factors to it, you know what I mean? And I do a lot of studying. I don't really watch TV. I just do research. And
why don't you watch TV?
because it's like random programming. Whatever they want to put on there, and you get used to it, you're programming your subconscious.
It's a bit like a raffle. You know what I'm saying? Like, what we're getting today.
Like Russian roulette.
Yeah. That's a darker way of putting it. Yeah.
You don't know what you're going to get shot with.
Get hit with.
You know what I mean? So, I like to have that power over what I'm going to program myself with, because that's why they call it programs. You know what I mean? You're programming yourself. So
that is true.
the more I focus on the things that I know are beneficial for me, the more I'll grow as a person. That's why I can't tell you the newest artist. I can't tell you a drill song. I just can't tell you, because my focus is different. TikTok. Let's go into TikTok.
Yeah,
TikTok.
man. Definitely.
TikTok has been amazing. And I don't mean it as everything that's happening on TikTok is amazing. It's just the fact that it's a tool that you can connect with your fans. Before, back in the day, you sell CDs, you sell tapes, you even sell records, or you go around and sell t-shirts, you meet people in person, you have that personal support. Now it's all gone with the digital age. Everything's through the screen. Everything's through a click of a button. You don't get that authenticity. I feel like...
You think TikTok's authentic?
I feel like it gives you that... It's a tool. It's a tool where someone could be behind the screen and then they'll send you a gift. You're getting that gift straight from that person. You might get a percentage off it, but you're getting that direct gift from that person who's watching you right now. You perform your song, you perform whatever you're doing. Yeah. You're getting that connection with that person. Instead of just putting it on a website and them downloading it from an advert. They're live. It's a live thing. They're watching you. I started to do like comedy and stuff, because a lot of people say I'm a funny guy. I got a funny side to me from when I was young, but I never really got to express that through my songs or through my boxing. I probably could express it through interviews or something, but I didn't do much of them either. Yeah. But now that I can go live and talk directly to people, and people can randomly come in and see what I'm all about, I feel like I've got more of a connection. That's why I talk to people from United States, from South Africa, from all around the country that may not have known me or know my personality. So I might bust a joke, I might go into character, I might be serious and talk about a subject, or I might rap, or I might sing. It's given me that freedom to be myself more and connect with people more. Obviously, everyone uses it for different reasons, and there's different people doing different things. But for me personally, it's been a great tool to market myself and push the message that I'm all about.
And do you think that's the attention that you've got from certain things like comedy? Does that spill over into other things as well?
Definitely. It's like what I said before about the music. Me having transferable skills to the boxing. For me having the confidence to do the book. To have the confidence to teach. I'm being myself. I know that I can bust a joke. I know I can make people laugh. But I never was the person to write it down. I was never. It wasn't my overall goal to be a comedian. But just by being myself, being an all-rounder, jack of all trades,
Yeah.
It's opened myself up to the world, and that's why when I've dropped my new video, Kriptik Still in Love, it's out now.
Yeah.
That's had bag of views, because when I say to people, oh, you need to comment and like and favorite, they're listening to me. If I put it on the internet, people might hear it, people might not, people might take heed or they might not take heed. It's not as personal. So when I'm there every day performing and talking and connecting to my fans, they're going to listen to when I say, oh, I need help with this, I need help to do that, and this is how this algorithm will work this way if you do this. I'm getting more of that connection. But when it's just putting it on a site or putting it on Spotify or Instagram, it loses that connection.
So
I feel.
You're using like social media as a tool to actually engage with new audiences and old ones, actually contact them, guide them down the route. Because again, it kind of goes back to the support thing. Like when you start something new, people might not know how to support you and things like that. And I feel like a lot of people are building brands or trying to get out there and create something online, but they might not get the engagement and stuff like that. But you mentioned actually like guiding your followers through that process, and I suppose that takes a level of like not throwing your dummies out the pram and thinking, okay, let me work with people this way. So like man, you're quite switched on the whole how to use these tools, fam.
Yeah, well, it's a purpose now. It's not just a passion, innit? I've got a message.
So you need to figure it out.
Yeah, it's like when people say, "Oh, how do you box? How do you let somebody punch you?" And I enjoy boxing. I see the science behind the boxing. I train hard to be at the top of my game. It's something I thoroughly enjoy. So it's not like a job to me. It's not like a chore to me. So doing the social media stuff, doing all these things, these are things that I need that to work. I need the mechanics to flow for me to get the end result of getting that message out there. So it's enjoyable. Sometimes it's not enjoyable. Like I said, it's ups and downs. But it's something that the purpose it drives me. It drives me, and I thrive on it.
How'd you learn? How'd you end up learning how to work these platforms?
You just have to go and get stuck in, and then eventually it opens up to you. I've got friends that are big on TikTok as well that have helped me and pushed me. I'm not as big as them, but I'm slowly building up my own thing. Having trustworthy people around you, people that I've known from before the internet. I've always had that vision. I've always had that vision. Like from when I was young, I used to go around with my camera and film other people. I may not have had the knowledge, but I had the intent. If you ask anybody from Nottingham, I used to go around. Even though I was just trying to be a Grime MC, I was filming other Grime MCs. I was fading this out and doing that because I wanted to be a director. You know what I mean? So it's all these things tied in. It's like, all this was meant to happen. Everything was meant to happen. And once I relaxed and was aware and set back and reflected, things are just come into place.
How powerful is something like creating content, should we call it that buzzword? Like you've been picking up the cameras. Obviously you wanted to be a director and stuff like that. What impact has it had, and has it allowed your life to be shaped, being creative in that way, digitally?
It's
being online.
I'm from that generation where internet was just starting to come in. So we was just getting used to all the internet. So I've always had that in reach, so I've always used it. It's just normal to me. Back in the day, there's a thing called Go Play or something like that. We used to have a website called Go Play.
I don't know what that is, bro.
I've
never even heard of that.
03 or 02, something like that. So we was in school trying to make websites, trying to do this and that. I was always inventive, always creative. So I've always had that drive in it to just get myself out there and use the tools that I had.
Is it useful though?
It's like I said before when we was going in the car.
Go on.
You could have a gun. It's how you use it and what you use it for. So everything's got use. It's just how you use it. So I've always had that drive to use things for the benefit of all. When I was younger, we had SoundClick. You must remember SoundClick.
Brother, I don't even remember none of these things, you know.
SoundClick is like
SoundCloud.
It's like before SoundCloud. It's a bit like it. I think
MySpace.
MySpace.
MySpace. MSN, yeah, man.
These are all things we used to use.
That's when I joined the wave. MSN, yeah.
You know what I mean? So we used to send tracks. I remember I had this A That and Yours logo, and everyone was rocking the logo in Knots. Everyone in Knots was saying the phrase at one point. This is very, very early. So from when I was very young, I always had that mindset of bringing people together and pushing it as a collective.
You're using these tools as well, because people wouldn't have been able to find out about it without you using whatever platform at the time. Exactly. What I'm saying is I just want to give you your flowers now from then. Now You're on TikTok. Like, you keep up to date with these things, bro.
Well, I've not gotten Threads yet, but
What is that?
Threads is on Instagram.
Oh,
so,
Threads.
yeah,
You know
Threads.
what? I was on that, man. It's kind of that. It's drying me out, man.
I've never really been a Twitter fan. I was on it though.
I wasn't a Twitter fan, to be fair. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember there was a time with BlackBerry as well. So it's just
BBM, yeah.
that's when I was actually selling my CDs. I did A That in Yours volume. I think it was either 2 or 3. It might have been 3. I was doing double disc them times. I went everywhere, selling it for £10. Broadcasting on BB. So somebody got my broadcast from Manchester. I'll go Manchester to sell this one CD. That's how serious I was. That's probably why my name is out there locally and probably internationally now as well. I went everywhere. I would physically go everywhere. I'll go like London. There was a time I was going to London and doing sets with people like Little Nasty, Big H, all these these big names. I'll be there nearly every week, every 2 weeks, spitting bars. They know who I am. I wasn't afraid to go and show my talent. I think that's the confidence levels again. I believed in myself and I still believe in myself. So that's all you need, confidence.
What would you say to the people at home that are watching, people that know you, the people that don't? If you could leave them with insight or your thoughts, what would you say?
I would say I believe life is all about learning. Every situation that comes up in life is teaching you something. And if you don't learn it, it will repeat. You learn the lessons from everything that happens and then you go with your gut instinct. Your gut instinct is telling you what you should be doing and where you should be going. You may not know how to do it, but when you're in tune with the fact that you're learning these lessons and you're improving yourself in some way, you will reach the goal that you need to be at. I think anyone that's into something they're not really should be into would honestly know that's not for them. But that's all I can really say. And I'm probably one of the proofs that you can do what you're doing. You may not have all the success materially, but all the goals that will make you a better person and make the people around you better will be open up to you. If that's the kind of frequency you're on, that's what you truly want to be about. That's why I feel like everything, like having my daughter in my life, me working, me training, me being able to perform, having that balance, all these things wouldn't have happened if I didn't go through all the things I did. I could have easily gone down the wrong path, trying to chase something for validation. So yeah, that's what I would say. Respect, man. Thank you for having me, man.
Thank you for coming on. Over and out.
Respect.
Respect.